Hey, everybody. I am Mike Downer, and I am your host for Howell's Family Experience. Today, I'm joined by Fred and Aaron Howell of Howell's Greenhouse, and I'm also joined by my boss and the owner of Jar Consulting Group, Kevin Osmansky. How are we all doing today here, guys?
Good.
Good.
Doing great. This episode's been a long time coming, Fred and Aaron. We've been talking about this, haven't we, for a while?
Yes.
Yes, you have.
There you
Pestering
go.
me about it.
We can see how excited Fred is. Fred he doesn't want to be out working on the farm. He doesn't want to be building things right now. He wanted to sit down and actually get in front of a camera. So Aaron, I'm guessing Fred's been probably pulling at your arm for the last couple of months to get this going, right?
Sure.
I've been super excited.
Oh, all right. Well, listen, we've been looking at this for a while. Aaron and we've been talking about this. So I get to be a part of this initial episode. So, all right, Fred, really tough question coming your way. Tell us what is Howell's Pumpkin Patch and Greenhouse. And we're going to dive into learning more about the history behind Howell's Pumpkin Patch and Greenhouse and dried florals and all the other cool things. So go ahead, Fred, tell us, just start off with some background about the farm.
Well, Howell's Pumpkin Patch, where everybody's happy place. That's why they come. It was originally purchased in 1878 by Nelson Howell. And at one point in time, there was 2,000 acres, but I'm the fifth generation, and every generation screwed up somewhere and sold parcels off. And anyway, there's 800 acres still remaining. 50 acres I use for my agritourism enterprise. And it all started in 1985, middle of the farm crisis, and I just came home from college, and alternative crops were a big deal. And we heard a rumor of some lady 60 miles from here that could make tens of thousands of dollars from a fraction of an acre of dried flowers. So I planted 4 kinds of status, straw flowers, and I didn't know what the plant looked like. I didn't know what the flower looked like. I didn't know how I was going to market it. I just started taking it to farmers market and learned the hard way. Made lots of trips to the burn barrel. So anyway, over the years, it's just evolved. We added the pumpkin patch. We added mums. We've added a greenhouse. We tried strawberries. We've tried lots of things. Asparagus. Now we have goat cuddling, so everybody can come and decompress, holding a baby goat. What else is there?
So you said your fifth generation, Fred, is that right? So who's the lady sitting there on camera? She's the
that
lady
would be Aaron,
right?
the next one in line.
Next one in line. So Aaron Howell, so your daughter. So hi, Aaron. How are you today?
I'm good. Not raining in here.
So Aaron's going to be 6th generation, correct?
Yep. Yes.
So back on the history just a little bit, Fred. So you said Nelson Howell purchased 2,000 acres back in like 1870 something. Is that right?
1878. Bought the first 600 or 700, and then acquired more property after that.
So Howell's is and has been an actual working Iowa farm. Is that correct?
It still is a working farm. There's still 120 old cow pairs here, and we still have 100 acres of corn. And
okay, so it's an actual real working farm. And now you mentioned agritourism, so let's talk about that. What in the heck is agritourism, Fred?
Bringing people to the farm, and I mean, most people don't step foot on. All they know about a farm is from the car window at 60 miles an hour. And they get to come here. They hold their nose because something might smell, or it's quiet, it's peaceful. It's just a whole different universe. And they get to see the animals and frolic, basically, on various structures we have, play structures and stuff.
Gotcha. So tell us more. Obviously, Howell's Pumpkin Patch and Greenhouse. There's two kind of different businesses here, right? So I mean, let's talk about Howell's Pumpkin Patch. How did the pumpkin patch evolve? When did people start coming out to Howell's to pick pumpkins? And walk us all the way through, like, all of the things that you keep adding every year. Let's talk about some of these fun things here. So,
okay. Well, originally I started with flowers to dry, because dried flowers were popular in the early 80s, late 80s, 90s. But that fell from fashion, and people were coming in the fall anyway. And I was also raising a couple thousand mums, and pumpkins just felt like a natural fit. So I planted a half acre of pumpkins and had 2 little red wagons, and that's all I was going to do. And that did not work out. Now we have 18 acres of pumpkins, a corn maze, wagon rides, giant bull slide, a beeline, a low ropes course, a jumping pad, a bathtub train, which nobody else has because that's out of my head. Pumpkin cannon, throw a pumpkin half a mile.
Corn cannon.
Corn cannon. What else is there?
Corn pool.
Yeah, the corn pool.
Which is basically a sandbox full of corn instead of sand.
So corn pool. So you can just get in an entire massive pool full of corn, right?
Yes.
Isn't corn a little dusty?
You can. We treat it for dust, but yeah, you can come up.
Okay.
It's possible to come out as a floured tortilla.
I just know many years ago when my kids were little and we'd come out and they'd all jump in the corn pool and they would do everything, and we'd get them in the car to drive home, and they just were so happy and they got to all these fun things, and it was fun. It was great. So, but yeah, the corn pool. You said how big's your corn maze?
6 acres.
Okay.
It changes every year.
Have you ever had anybody get lost in the corn maze where you had to send out a search party?
Yes.
Sadly, yes.
You said you weren't going to tell anybody I did that, Fred.
He was an adult too. It was
wonderful. Gotcha. So the pumpkin patch started as an offshoot, and now today, Howell's Pumpkin Patch is one of the largest pumpkin patches in the entire Midwest, which is pretty exciting. So, I mean, you definitely are underscored in how big it's gotten. So, I mean, I know there's tractors and there's wagon rides that take you out to the pumpkin patch. There's just so many things going on out there. So, what do you attribute all that growth to, Fred?
Well, it's just, I have half the state's population in a 40-mile radius, and on paved road off the interstate, and I have an active imagination, and I just can't say no or stop dreaming stuff up. And it's a fun job for the most part, building all these. I get to collect old tractors and
our wagon rides are old tractors take people out to the pumpkin patch with our antique tractors. So,
and it goes through the 4 acres of flowers on the way to the pumpkin patch, sunflowers and all the other flowers we raise, which nobody else.
Because now you pick flowers is a big thing now too. That's another draw.
Yeah, I mean, flowers are a big one, but let me just, why is picking your own pumpkins from the field different than just getting one at the grocery store? Huh? I mean, it's such a, I'm asking that question. I think it's a softball question, but I'd like to hear your answer. Why is actually getting to go out in the field and actually pick out your own pumpkin? Why is that different than just grabbing one when you're at the Quickie Mart or the grocery store?
Because you remember it. Because I mean, growing up, there were 7 siblings in my family, and we always had a pumpkin. I have no idea where it came from. It just, showed up. But when they go pick out their own pumpkin, then they
get their picture and they remember that.
And they have to decide. It might have dirt on the backside, so they throw it back on the ground. Or, I mean, it might have a bug, or just people like green ones and all the oddball stuff too. So they get the choices. It's a treasure hunt.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. So for sure. Yeah, for sure. So Howell's Pumpkin Patch has been around since 1870. Is that right?
Not the pumpkin patch, but the farm.
Howell's Farm. Sorry. Good correction.
Yes.
Howell's Farm.
Yeah.
It's been around since 1870. And just for full disclosure, you haven't been at the farm since 1870, right, Fred?
No, I have not.
So 5th generation. So and that's pretty impressive because you don't see that today, especially the way that land in Iowa and farms. I mean, I think it's unique having the farm actually in the family for that many generations. So I think that's pretty interesting. Did your father do anything with agritourism when he owned the farm, or?
My father, there were 7 of us kids, and as soon as each one of us started kindergarten, we were all just a year apart. And as soon as we started school, there was an acre of Christmas trees planted. And there was Ann's patch, Fred's patch, Mary's patch. And anyway, we were responsible for doing the work, and we got the money for college funds. We
wow.
all went to college and didn't have to work. I did, but.
What made you want to come back and stay on the farm, Fred?
Oh, growing up here, there was always the livestock and stuff, but we're always building stuff and fabricating stuff and trying something new. My dad was notorious for always trying something new. He'd build something, or he was building guitars and violins when he was 85 years old, just to try something new. So it's just this fun job. I always get to try something new.
Gotcha. So we've talked a lot about the pumpkin patch. Tell us a little bit about the actual greenhouse. So obviously, Howell's Pumpkin Patch and greenhouse. So is it just dried floral? Is that all you still have nowadays, Fred and Aaron?
Well, up in the loft of the barns, dried
Right.
florals. Out in the field, there's all these flowers you can pick. Some of them you can also dry, but some of them are just strictly for fresh bouquets. The greenhouse we're basically we're a small garden center in the spring, and you can get your hanging baskets and containers and
Patio
pots and
bedding plants.
We kind of specialize in bigger plants, healthier plants. Most of the stuff you see at a big box store has been treated with growth regulators, and you plant it and it just sits there for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks before it gets a chance to grow out of that. Ours are ready to go the minute you set them out.
So what else is there to do when they come out and they come out to the greenhouse and they're looking at flowers and, all that fun stuff? And this, I think, just from having been out there a bazillion times, I know why it's a different experience. And I think that's the thing to really talk about is the experience. So, you can go out and buy your hanging flowers and all that stuff at, like you said, any big box shop. But what's the difference? Like when you come out there, like talk about the experience.
Well, where else can you go buy your hanging basket and cuddle a baby goat? Or the kids, you don't have to guard you can drop your guard around here, and because the kids can go be in the corn pool or go in the kiddie corral, the playground, and do other things, and you can relax and shop and not be, it's not like a big box store where you're hanging on to your child. And
Absolutely. So give me, Fred, you got to have a million stories over all the years here. So is there any great stories that just kind of jump out at you? I mean, I like hearing about the adult that got lost in the corn patch. That's actually pretty funny. I was expecting to be like a 5 or 6 year old little child, but no, it was an adult. So, I mean, over the years, I mean, this is, like I said, this is a lot. I mean, any great stories or anything that jumps out at the top of your brain?
not that I say on a podcast.
Maybe you should turn this one over to Aaron.
Yeah. I think Aaron must have really made sure Fred was on the right behavior, because I know you've told me a few funny stories, but yeah, I got you. Talk about the goat cuddling. Oh, what's that, Aaron?
Do you have a season you want him to think about? A funny story about a certain
Oh,
season?
just any good stories. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask Aaron a question, Fred. So you got to think of a good story, like a good pumpkin patch story, or we want to hear one of your good pumpkin patch stories. Aaron, talk about goat cuddling. You're also getting really well known for goats. Like, when did goats become a thing? Oh, and also, how did you become kind of semi-famous on YouTube with all your goats?
Okay, so you might remember something called goat yoga, and that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like a hot item back in 2017, 2016, when that went viral. And we're like, hey, we got goats, we got a yard, why don't we do that?
Someone drew a line in the sand, and I crossed it.
So anyways, we wanted to do goat yoga.
Wouldn't think I'd do it. But
So
anyway,
we were like, how are we going to train these goats to jump on people and do yoga? So we're like, oh, let's take the little babies we have and let's kind of give them a treat with a bottle of milk. And then so they'll come up to you and they'll want to, interact, and you want your attention. Because the goats we have are Nigerian dwarfs, and they are natural climbers. Like, they love playing and jumping on people. So then we started, let's have people come out and help us bottle feed these goats. So, and then that pen was so busy with people just bottle feeding the goats, because they're like, oh, for $1 you can bottle feed these goats.
and 30 people would show up to feed 5 or 6 goats.
Yeah,
and
it was crazy.
It was crazy. So
then we did goat yoga for a couple years, and it wasn't, I mean, I feel like trends come and go. So people, they would spend the money on the goat yoga, but then all they want to do is cuddle the goats. So we decided just to open up the farm for goat cuddling. We don't do the yoga, but the goats will still climb on you. If you wanted to do, a plank, they will still climb up and jump on you. So you can get that picture.
goat yoga became just a goat with a picture with a goat.
Yes.
Yeah, and not, and it was hard to find a yoga instructor to teach goat yoga and to participate.
It was a little different.
It was a little different. So it just became goat cuddling, and people stuck around for hours.
We also sell season passes in the summertime, so you can goat cuddle all season long. We start goat cuddling May 1st through Labor Day, and there's many adults that come out and have a season pass, and they just sit with the goats for hours. They bring their lawn chairs, and it's like their version of therapy. Instead of going to someone to talk to, they go to the animals and sit with them and cuddle the animals.
Sitting with it's like sitting with a box of puppies, but you're not guilted into taking it home. I mean, it's going back to staying on the farm, and you don't have to take it home. And everybody has their favorite goat that they visit on a regular basis, because everybody's got a name tag.
Well, and so, Aaron, what happened on YouTube? Because you started live streaming your baby goats on YouTube, didn't you?
So there was this one goat, I think her name was Sam, and she was in labor. And I was like, oh, I'm sure my people would love to see this. So I started recording it on Facebook Live, and it just blew up. Millions of people saw it within like 10 minutes. It was super crazy. And I was like, oh, and so I saved that live stream, and then I posted it on YouTube. and it did great also. So then I started recording all the goat births. And we set up this own goat nursery where we had cameras in it, where you live stream, the goats that are in there. And every time we had a birth, I would capture that on the feed and I would post that online. And I mean, people love watching goats being born, but then others are like, oh, I ain't gonna watch that because it's very, it can get a little graphic.
The circle of life for sure.
It's a learning moment, teaching moment.
Yeah, I know Mike loves watching those live goat births, right, Mike?
Aaron showed me the video of the live birth, and it was a learning moment from me. I learned that I never want to watch other animals.
We have like 60 moms that give birth all through the summer, and so I'm used to it by now. It doesn't bother me.
I got you. All right. So I got a really tough question for you, Fred, here. This is coming back to you. So what makes Howell's different from every other pumpkin patch in Iowa or just in general?
We're still a farm. We are not a carnival on a flat spot next to a farmstead. We have
so many trees, and it's shaded, and
it's a pretty farmstead with full-grown trees and
white picket fences.
Yeah, you have to explore the place. Not everything's just off the sidewalk, because there is no sidewalk. You have to go around the corner around this building and discover something new and different.
Gotcha. And there's so much to explore, but I mean, there's just so much. You can't even get it all in one first episode. But I mean, gift shop. And I mean, you guys have a little cafe type thing out there. And I mean, I always get something to eat. And then there's the beverage cart. I mean, it's interesting because, like I said, it's just my experiences. I've seen that. So, so much to capture. We won't even get it all in this first episode, but yeah, I would agree with you. That's definitely what makes it different is it's a working farm. It's not going to what'd you say there, Fred? A carnival atmosphere?
Yeah. Because so many of them are like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know my children always loved, they would get in the giant hay wagon on the tractor, and it drives you, I don't know, good 10 minutes out, and you get off in the corn maze, and then you're like you said, you're picking out your pumpkins, and it's just it really is just being on a real farm. And I think people don't really find that today. So yeah, I would agree with you on that. Any funny stories before we wrap up here, Fred or Aaron? Anything you can share with us?
They're not appropriate.
I don't think so.
All right. Well then, Aaron, what are the top 3 things to do at an tourism place like Howell's? What would you tell me the top 3 are?
Feeding the animals.
Playing.
The playground, definitely the playground. And just being outside and learning how farm life is or works.
Gotcha. Great. Mike, anything I'm missing here for wrap up this first one?
You can take my job, Kevin.
I don't want your job, Mike.
You did great today. I mean,
I don't want your
my job easy.
I just was excited. We finally got this going, and I just know how much Fred's been on us for all these years, Aaron, to get going with the podcast, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. He's up.
Yeah, but I remember when I started working for you about 6 years ago. I remember you talking about how Fred wanted to do these podcasts.
Yes.
And Kevin just resisted, but
Yeah,
Fred, you finally talked him into it.
Yep. Everybody's been holding Fred off from doing this. So, Aaron, I wonder how, it's going to take a mountain to get him back on our next one. So, but anyways. All righty. Well, that kind of rounds us out. So this was just great learning about Howell's Pumpkin Patch. And like I said, this is kind of fun for me because I don't ever get to step in here and do this. So we'll learn a lot more about Howell's farm experience on our next episode. So have a great day. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you.
Bye.